It is the final race of the day. It's the Championship Cup, the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair. And here are the storylines we will follow for today. Can he do it? Dave Villwock, he's won here before, but not for a while. He's got the fastest boat on the water. Will he prevail? Steve David hopes not. He'd like to be a repeat winner, winning for the sausage boat a year ago. Can Steve David and Timo Berto do it again? And 2 out of the last 3 Seafairs, Jean Thierret in the U-37 Beacon Plumbing boat has won. Jean Thierret hasn't had a great weekend, but it could all get better right now in the championship of the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair.
This is the Chevy Cup Championship, brought to you by Chevrolet. See your Northwest Chevy dealer or visit us online at chevydealer.com. And it's presented for Seafair by Chevrolet, an American Revolution.
Time to take a look at the lineups. It's going to be a full field with the Miss Elstrom Elam Plus. That's Dave Villwock, the Oboy Alberto, and Steve David. Miss Beacon Plumbing, Jean Thierret. The Graham Trucking Boat, J. Michael Kelly. We've got lots of speed in this one. The MirageBoats.com, FormulaBoats.com, and the Our Gang Racing Team is the trailer. Kip Brown at the controls. The lights have cleared the course. They're celebrating their champion.
Messes up your anticipated starting sequence to a certain extent because you're being prodded a little bit, which is a little bit different from the way it was when the boats were able to just creep up at the start. But they're all hunting each other now down in that lower corner. At this point, the hot dogs, with the exception of Jeff Bernard, are hunting each other out. At low speeds, they are staying on each other. Thierret and Steve David, for example, you're looking through Thierret's window as he passes Dave Villwock for a moment, but as they're going around and around and around, sooner or later they're going to take the jump into the lanes they want to go for. They're all too early to take the first lane yet.
They're early again. Dave did a great job getting the inside, so then John Thierret got ahead of him to move over the inside. Now where they are right now, they should be actually a minute from now. They are way early. We're seeing a repeat of last year. Now if somebody's really smart, like, well, I'm sorry, but Kip Brown has to stay behind, but somebody should stay back and slingshot these guys. Look at how slow he's going.
Let me tell you, that boat is off plane right now, and for longer than 5 seconds, and several of them are. Now, we could in fact see an enforcement. It happened a couple of times in final heats in the earlier season, and if we do see an enforcement, fines may already have been, or that is, infractions may have already been incurred. So we'll have to see just exactly what happens. Again, we're going to go around 5 times here.
So early, Mike, there. So early again, because everybody believes they have to have the inside. So somebody's got to be smart enough to hang back here and get a run at the start. So when these guys that are coming up earlier hit the line at 100 miles an hour, they hit it at 150.
But they are now committed as they pass that yellow buoy going into the turn there. They must now hold their lanes as they come around, and Jean Thierret has got the inside lane next to him. It's in lane number 2. It looks like it's going to be Jeff Bernard. Now let's see exactly where
they're 10 seconds early, Mike. You should be there at 10 seconds.
Yeah, you should. No, it's not Jeff Bernard on the inside. It's going to be Thierret, and right next to him it's going to be the Elam. Jeff Bernard is in lane 4, Steve David in lane 3. Here they come. They're going to try to ratchet up the power curve here to get to the line. They're going to make it all right with a legal start. That isn't going to be the problem, but not everybody's at the kind of speed they want to have. Thierret's in a good position right now, though, on the inside, and holding Dave Villwock off to the left, to the right of him, rather, on his hip as they come through that corner. Stephen David lagging back just a little bit, and Jeff Bernard, the 4th boat in that particular picture, as they get out of that turn, Chip.
Well, I tell you what, Dave Villwock's got his hands full now. He's just got to rely on his boat being a superior piece of equipment and just drive around the outside of John Thierret with sheer boat speed and power, and you're starting to see him do it right now.
Well, he's staying right with him, that's for sure, but the question is, does he really have enough power to do a blow-by there? He's actually lagged back just a little bit now. Thierret gets off the corner, and now Dave Villwock is trying to get on the throttle. In the meantime, great battle for 3rd and 4th also between Bernard and Steve David back there on the outside. Pat, what's the speed?
145, 565 for Thierret.
into that corner again, and Thioret's got him handled right at the moment, Chip.
I tell you what, he stretched it out from one lap to the other. I'm going to start calling John Thioret Mr. Final Heat. He always can reach down somewhere and find something spectacular and come up with it right when he needs it. Now Dave is in big trouble. I don't know that he's got the power to power around him.
Jeff Bernard just passed Steve David out of that corner. Now Steve David's trying to come back on him. Jeff trying to pick up points on him there in the battle for third and fourth. Jean Thioret coming out of the corner here on lap number 2 and in control of this by almost a rooster tail now. It looks like Dave Villwock does not have the beans to be able to catch him because he's actually pulled away a little bit further. Jean Thioret, the checkerboard Beacon Plumbing, comes across the line, and what's his speed, Pat?
140.449. It doesn't get any better than this. Look at that battle for third and fourth.
Dave is falling into the clutches of Steve David. Steve David is coming up. Well, now he's going to have to go to the outside of Dave Villwock. He was starting to fall into the clutches of Villwock.
He ate an awful lot of water there as he came through the rooster tail, and that really slowed him down, and that allows Jeff Bernard to try to take another shot at him. So we got 2 races going, first, second, third, fourth. But in first place right at the moment, Jean Thioret has just played good and out of town here as far as Dave Villwock is concerned, getting further and further away from him, just virtually outrunning him. Now Steve David once again is taking a shot at the Elam as he pulls into the last part of the spray of the rooster tail. Here comes Jean Thioret down the front straightaway now, rooster tail and a half ahead, and continues to control this final heat.
This team, I'm sorry, go ahead, Pat.
He turned the last lap at 136 miles an hour.
So the team is backing him down. The team sees that Dave is falling back. They're just telling him, save the equipment, don't make a mistake. But he's got to keep the pace up because it's not beyond Dave to sneak up there. John Thioret is a phenomenal driver. He's not a good driver. He's not a great driver. He's a phenomenal driver. If he can pull this off, to win the Chevrolet Cup 3 out of 4 years with, frankly, an underdog bout, that's something amazing.
He was ahead like this in Tri-Cities last week when he threw a prop. And,
anything can happen. And Dave has made some of it up again.
He has made some of it up. In fact, John's got to be thinking about, I threw a prop in Tri-Cities last weekend, right about where I am right now. Dave has pulled a little bit closer to him.
Actually, he's making a huge mistake right now. John Thioret is running inside the water of Kip, and here comes Dave Villwock. John Thioret needs to move outside of that wake. He's got to move outside of that wake right there. He's moved outside of this wake to try to get into some good water. Nope, he's laying right in that in that rough water, and that's going to hurt him. But I think it's too late for Dave Villwock.
I think you're right. He is to the outside now, and he probably heard you talking to him there because he's actually coming up fast enough to lap Kip Brown if he continues at this pace. But Jean Thioret looks like right now, and unless he's hearing any kind of footsteps or gremlins in the engine compartment, that he's going to be another winner on Lake Washington.
I had a bit of lunch with him today, and I said, can you win? And he just smiled at me, this big smile that said, yeah, I can do this.
Indeed he can. Here's the checkered flag. Jean Thioret wins the Chevrolet Cup at Seafair for the 3rd time. The French-Canadian in the Beacon Plumbing from Seattle is your winner. Dave Villwock second in the Miss Elam. Oh boy, Oberto, last year's champion, in 3rd place overall. And coming down in 4th place and having a rough ride of it also is Jeff Bernard.
Let me also say John Thioret had the race won last week when the propeller let him down by doing the same thing. The guy's a phenomenon.
He certainly did. And of course, this is the guy that has forced Dave Villwock off of his game plan time and again, and he does it almost always at Villwock's expense.
It is. Dave has struggled. You know, he struggled when John Thioret came to this sport. It's really made Dave's life very hard, and it's going to be interesting to hear what Dave has to say. Basically, John got the inside from him. I believe John was in front of him at the start line. So, you know, John did a great job. It's going to be interesting to hear what Dave said. Let's look at the start and see where John was in relationship to Dave. So here they come. That's John Thioret on the inside and Dave Villwock, I believe, right next to him.
Steve David is just outside.
And Steve David's lane 3. You can see that John Thioret got on the accelerator early, and here is the start line right there, and he's going to get there before Dave Villwock. Now that's the cardinal sin for somebody, is don't let a guy be inside of you, and if he is inside of you, don't let him be to the line before you. And nobody jumped. Let's take a look at that clock.
Here's they come to line, no jumpers.
Pretty
The clock
nice.
was fine.
Pretty
good
nice
start there for everybody.
I tell you what, we saw Paul Becker drive what I think was a perfect race. I think we just saw another perfect